Hello guys, yes, we're back to another section of the tutorial, and it really makes sense that the last time we actually learned how to get rid of background from a picture, especially when we want to use the picture for a particular design project. So today, if you can remember vividly, I told us the last time that we will learn how to add the picture or to change the background of the picture that we remove the background, like we're going to replace it with another background. So how do we get that done? So before we get started, so we have to create a new page. Yes, that's how we start. So I told us that we can use what I'm showing you on the screen here, or at the same time we can come to the file section and click on new. So but not to take our time, let us use this one, new page. Okay, so creating a new page, it actually brought this for us. So this is where you get to choose the size, like the frame size for what you want to make. Now seeing the picture that we want to work with, the picture we cut the last time in the last class, we want to use that picture, and that picture is a portrait kind of picture, right? So I'm looking by what we have here. So we're working with pixel or inches. So there are other options apart from pixels or centimeter, but we're working with pixels or inches. So having done that, so let's title our project. Sometimes it's not all too necessary, but so to just have it on our mind and to keep track, so we can just title the project. Okay, now let us title it replace background, replace BG, let us use that way, BG. So now looking at the width here and the height, we are okay to go with this. So the width is 5, then the height is 7. So with this we are good to go. So sometimes, depending on the kind of work or the project we want to embark on, it might require us to actually change the width and the height. But for this project that we want to embark on, or for this picture that we want to work on, we'll just leave it as 5 and the height as 7. So you understand? So yes, here we can change what our background looks like. It can either be white, black, or background color, but today we are just going to leave it as white. So our color mode is RGB. So that's by the way anyways, that's by the way. So let's also be reminded that we can actually change how we frame rate our project. So this is the pixels, inches, centimeter, millimeter, point, and pixels. So we are using inches, as I said earlier. That's why we're having in this case 2 pixels and inches. Then we can change the resolution here. So let's just leave the resolution at 300. So let's create. Okay, very good. We have successfully created a new page using the width as 5 and the height as 7. So how do we now continue? How do we now bring the picture we want to work on? Yes, remember the last time we've gotten rid of the background of that picture, but now we want to create a new background for that picture. First of all, let us bring the picture in. Let us bring in a picture. Or let's do like this. First of all, let's create a background. if you can recall vividly, the image has okay, let us just import the image first of all. Open. So I told you that I have where I store my Photoshop, anything I work on Photoshop, I have where I store them. So I have a folder for it already. That is Photoshop. So I open. But I remember the last time the name we used to save the project is Kenny. So this is it already. So I open. Yeah. So now this is the background we made, so that we can replace the background. We can get a new background for this picture. So we already created a new page already. So now there are some things to consider when we want to create background for an image. So sometimes you have to consider the colors that are prominent on what the person is wearing. You can see that the person is wearing a purple clothes, having ash-like colors also. So we can just look for a simple background that has this component of colors that are here. So how do we do that? So we are going to Ctrl O again, that is open. So let's look for a background that is going to work. So this is me looking for a background. It's not like I have a background in mind before. I'm still looking for a background. I want to make sure I get the perfect background. Okay, let us try to work with this. Yeah, let's try to work with this. Let's see what it's going to look like when we work with this. Let's see. So having opened or cutting a background that we're going to use to replace the previous background of the picture. So this is what we then do. Now this is our move tool, right? So we're going to use our move tool to drag this background to the new page we created, which is replace BG. So now on my left click, I'm holding it down on the background, then dragging it to this place. You can see now. Then once you get to that place, it automatically shows you the new page we created. Then you don't release until you get to this point. You can see until it shows this thing, this cursor and whatever is under it, and this plus icon. Until you get to this point, don't release the mouse. So having understood that and seeing that yes, we have successfully dragged the image to this point, then I released. So now you can see that the background that we brought to Photoshop, we've successfully dragged it to this new page. So then what do we have to do then? We have to fit in the background. So while we are fitting in the background, we hold our shift on the keyboard, hold it down, then you size until you get a perfect sizing. You still hold down your shift. Okay, now if you see this now, after I have fully fitted in the background into the frame, the white frame, this thing is looking kind of blur. Why is it like that? It's because we've not told Photoshop that we are done with the sizing. Now there are two ways to tell Photoshop that you are done with the sizing. Is either you click this plus icon, commit transform, or you use the enter button on the keyboard. So let's do that already. You can see that there is now a difference. So now do I want to leave this background like this and place the picture on it? For me is a no. So what do I do to make a difference? Then I come to my filter, then I blur. I come to blur. Usually Gaussian blur is preferred, so I'm using Gaussian blur. Okay, so until I get the perfect color that I want, I mean the perfect blur movement or state that I want. Okay, so the radius point I choose for this is 40.1, so I use the OK. So having done that, I go back to where the picture is. This is the picture. So the same thing we did for the background where we are dragging it is the same thing we're going to do for this picture. Meanwhile, I told us that I'm going to teach us how to get rid of spots on the face. So I think I can just quickly introduce that in this place. So let's look for our clone stamp tool. So let's use spot healing brush. So let us do that for now. Let's just do that for now. We'll come back to it later. So now we drag this image, we drag it to where we have fitted in our background. So the same process. So until we get to this point, then we release it again. Okay, this is looking, the color combination is okay. Also saying that this cloth that is on this place has a blue design on it, so everything is actually working out very well and fine. So then we adjust. Yeah, remember you're using the shift to adjust, or else the sizing will be very rough. So I'm just making sure that I have something perfect. Okay, so let's just leave it at this point. Let's leave it at this point. I have my reasons. Okay, so then you go ahead using. Okay, so we've successfully achieved this. Now, one thing that we'll always do in design is that we make sure that the color of the background is also kind of reflecting on the face, on the subject's face. But in this tutorial we'll not be doing that. That's an higher level, this is an upgraded level. Sure you understand, that's an higher level. So but now we are just setting out as a beginner. In the long run or in the long process we get to learn how to do that, or in subsequent classes you learn how to do that. So now I have successfully changed the background of this image. I've added another background, and I'm sure we still understand the process. So now I want to add text to this image. I want to add text. So how do I get that done? How do I add text to this image? So we have our text icon here. So we use it already. Then one thing about Photoshop is that outside this frame that is here, you cannot type your text. So your text has to be within the frame, within this frame. So now let's assume the person is the person's birthday. So we're going to do that. So let's use happy birthday. Happy. Okay. So I have my reasons for just leaving that happy first. So note, we're using our shift. So then, am I okay with this test? No, I'm not okay with test. Then I come to my test icon again. Then I highlight. Then having highlighting it, I come. This is where the fonts are. So for easy changing of fonts, until I get my preferred font, I can highlight the font menu like this. Then I now start using my what's it called, my arrow button on the keyboard. So you can see as I'm using my arrow button on the keyboard, the fonts are changing. So I can continue doing that until I get a preferred font. Okay, I think I'm a bit satisfied with this font. So name of the font is Borex. Okay, so to tell Photoshop that I'm done, I click on this icon. So okay, but this is not the color I want. I want the white color. So after I highlight again with my text icon, this is where I come to change the color. Then I want a white this thing. I drag it to this place. You can see that automatically it has changed. Okay. So we have a white text. So we can make any adjustments that we want. If I want it to be a little bit bigger, so I've done that already. So then, are we done? We've not written the birthday. So now, instead of me bringing the text out and start typing again, I can duplicate this text. Then I like the one that is duplicated and changed the right top. So how do I duplicate? I use Ctrl J. So it shows, you can see it here, it's saying happy copy. So I can just bring it down like this, then I highlight again. Then I can just click my birthday. Birthday. So but for this birthday, I want a cursive font. I want a font that is kind of cursive. So the same process. So let's look for a cursive font. Okay, I think I like this. I like this. So I like this. So having done that, okay, I can adjust my text again. So that's one thing about design. Sometimes you just need to what's that word again? You have to improvise. And so the first time I make sure the text was kind of big, but now I want to improvise. Okay, I want the happy font. Text to be a little bit smaller. Then this cursive one, I want it to be bigger. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm just improvising. Then we will come about a good result. So now I want to pick my happy font. With this highlight here is making it difficult for me. So to do that, I can just come here, happy. You can see that I've successfully highlighted it. Okay, this is what I want. So happy birthday. So it's all making sense already. It's all making sense. Well, based on my level of graphic design, I will have actually added some other effects and all of those. I mean, just to make it even more brighter and professional. But for the sake of this class, I'm going to leave it this way. I'm going to leave it this way. Yes, I can choose to change this color to any other color I like. So I don't want to be done like this. Okay, I think I still want to add something. So what I did now to pick both the happy and the birthday text is that I held my shift button on the keyboard. So I pick the happy text first, then hold the shift, then pick the birthday also. So this way I can move both of them at the same time. So you understand? So having done that, I still want to add something on top here, more like a tiny text. So okay, let us say celebrating a special one. Okay, I can choose variety of this thing. I can choose celebrating a special one, celebrating God's own. So but I choose to use celebrating a special one. So but am I okay with the text I used? We are still using our shift to deal with this. So am I okay? Apply transformation here. So celebrating a special one. Now this text, I want it to be stretched. So these are the components that actually deals with, you know, changing text features and all that. So now I want this text to be stretched a little bit. So you can see this place, this VA tells me that I'm able to stretch the text. So I can add, let's add a particular number. Let's start with 30. Immediately I use 30, I click the enter button. You can see that there's an adjustment, but I'm not still okay. Let's use 50. I'm not okay. Let's just go to 100. So it keeps stretching for as long as I want it. 200. Okay, I think we can manage 200. Celebrating a special one. Meanwhile, this thing is prone to change. Like the text, you can change it if you like. So I want this to be a capital letter. So I highlight it. Celebrating. You can leave that one, a special one. So then we can change the color we use for this text. Okay, this black one. Okay, it is white. So what color can we use? Should we use purple? Purple will not come out very well. Let us try yellow. I'm trying to look for a shade of yellow that will go very well. Okay, I think I like this. I think I'm okay with this a little bit. Celebrating a special one. Then once I'm done, I use the OK. So I have successfully changed that. So do we see that already? So it's as simple as that. So meanwhile, you don't have to be stereotyped. You can choose to go creative, you know, do whatever you like. Okay, so let us just do something a little bit creative or funky. Okay, let's do something like this. After I've done that, so this is my birthday test. I just want to create something very interesting. So I told you, how do we duplicate? Is Ctrl J. For Photoshop, we use Ctrl J. So you can see that it's showing me birthday copy. So I just pick it down. So this is what I want to do now. Just watch out. Just watch out. It might not be making sense at first. So I still want to. So this is what I'm going to do now. I want to fade in this text. I want to fade it in. So fading it in is very, very, very simple. Let's just use the very simple shortcut. You can use the numbers on the keyboard, starting from 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 9. Now, but then this text is covering this image. It's covering this image. So, but as a part of being creative, I can choose to leave it like this and still fade it, or I can just bring this layer that is here. I want this picture to come over this text. I can bring this layer, then drag it over this copy. Automatically, you can see that it came out. You understand? And you can use the shortcut on the keyboard, which is the Control, and there's a bracket after your 0p. There are these two brackets that is not the common or regular kind of bracket. You can use it. You can see. So you can use it like that interchangeably. So, but then I think I'm okay with it like this. So now I'll now pick the text again. I want to fade it to make it look lively and interesting. So I start with 1. You can say this is what 1 is giving me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now basically, this thing is what we call opacity, or you can call it opacity, anyone you like to call it. So I think 1 is the one that, is the least one. So now I still want to make it a little more funky. So I can still duplicate, which is Ctrl J. So then still bring it down again, just to make it a little bit funky. That's what I'm trying to do. Should we do it like this? Yes, we can still leave it like this. And leave it like this, just to make it a little bit funky. But if you are not okay with this, we can come to this place. We double click with the left click several times. It's supposed to be an icon. So we come to our opacity. Yes, this is the opacity here. So you can still decide to. You can see that once I put it to 0, everything disappeared on the design. So, but then okay, I think I left it at 2. So 2, you can adjust it to be 3 if you like. But I think we should leave it as, I think 2 is okay. As for me, 2 is okay. 2. So that is, I use okay. So we can do the same thing to this one too that is there. Click on it several times, then let's use 2 again. 2. That's for the opacity. So that's okay. So with this, I guess we are good to go. So I should have actually gone further and further and further and further, but let's just leave it at this point for beginners, so that you'll be able to, try out something by yourself and see how it really goes. So that will be the end for this tutorial. So see you on the next one. Okay, yeah, before I go on, sorry, let me tell you how to save this now. So once you are done with your design like this, yes, you can also save it as a project, just like the way we saved it the other time, which is Ctrl+Shift+X. So okay, yes, we've already titled it already. So we can come to desktop, like where I save my Photoshop project, Photoshop. So I open. So replace BG is the name of the project, Abby. So next time when I'm coming back, but Ned, this picture now, I want to send it to my phone. And I'm done with it on Photoshop, and I want to send it to my phone. How do I do it? It's very, very, very simple. So in this process, we are going to be exporting. So then we come to file. So we come to export. We come to export as. So this might take a little bit of time because I think it's trying to blend all the text together and all that. So let us hold on and anticipate until it shows us until I behold your face, until I look like you. My worship to you will never end. Until I behold your face, until I look like you. Okay, fine. It's processing, and that might take a little time. The processing is that it's trying to combine all the text, the background, the image, trying to group everything together and merge it into one, so that we can now be as a JPEG on our phone. So we have to wait for it to finish processing. So you have to wait for it until I behold your face, until I look like you. My worship to you will never end. Until I behold your face, until I look like you. My worship to you will never end. Like you, until I behold your face, my worship to you will never end. Okay, now though it's still processing here, but now we can change, we can go ahead. Okay, it's done processing. We can go ahead. Now this is showing PNG. Okay, actually this PNG is going to be explained in the class. What it means, PNG. I think basically there's this full meaning for it. I've actually forgotten, but don't worry, to be explained in the class. Okay, I think it's portable network graphics. Yeah, I remember, portable network graphics. What this PNG does is that if you save the image as PNG, you can place it on any image without showing the background. Like you can place it like, I don't know how to explain it to you. Okay, basically you'll be able to place this image or like overlay it on any, let's say you're making a video on CapCut now, you'll be able to place this image on the CapCut, editing process and all that. That's what the PNG does. Now, but we are saving it as JPEG. So the quality is left at 100%, and I think every other thing is okay. So then, having done that, just export all. So let us hold on a little bit until it exports. So where do I save this thing? Normally I have a folder where I save my recent job. So I title it as recent. So I open it here, recent. That's why. So I can decide to change this the name I used to save it from the beginning, but I can still decide to leave it. So replace BG. Okay, let's just add Kenny just to differentiate. So having done that, you can see that it's showing save as JPEG. So I want to save now. So successfully we have exported this image. Now, so how are we now sure that this image has been exported? So let me take you to my file explorer. So I come to my desktop. So there's this big folder that contains other folders. So I go to my recent where we saved it. So this is recent. So for me to really find it, the name we used to save it is remove BG then Kenny. So I click on this place and click R on the keyboard. So Yeah, so you can see this is it. We replicated it. We replace BGKenny. So I want to double click to open it now. So let's just hold on. I've double clicked it and I want it to just open. So this is it. This is my Windows photo viewer. So you can see that this is the end result. That's after we exported it. If we didn't export, we won't get to this point. So I think I have another view, which is Picasa. Okay, open with. I think I prefer Picasa on view. Picasa photo viewer. So here, so this actually brought it out. Brought the old thing out. So I hope you gained value in today's tutorial. So I hope to see you on the next one.